How many subs does this channel have, actually? 117K. This is an old video, too. But it's really dumb, so we're watching it. That's kind of the theme on here. We watch the dumb stuff.
Essentially, transgender ideology holds that people can be born into the wrong body. It's simply not true. Human sexuality...
I mean, I don't know if that's exactly the claim. People being born into the wrong body, that's just a way of phrasing it. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think that's just a way of phrasing what it means to be trans. We're at a problem. We have a problem already.
Reality is binary.
Okay, she just said, let's watch it again.
Holds that people can be born into the wrong body. It's simply not true. Human sexuality is binary.
Human sexuality is binary. Wrong. All right, this lady doesn't know what sexuality is. Sexuality is what you like. You like guys, you like girls, you like either. If you like both, like, there's already a lot of sexualities. You could be bisexual, gay, lesbian. This is going to be completely just pausing? Yeah, probably. You could be a lot. There's a lot of sexualities, okay? So already we're not. Terminology is problematic. This lady doesn't know what she's talking about. 12 seconds in, just credibility gone, lost. I don't give a fuck about what this lady has to say.
Okay, we know this because in nature, reproduction is the rule. And human beings, we engage in sexual reproduction. You need a man.
In nature, reproduction is the rule. Reproduction just kind of happens. Things in nature just kind of happens. Or happen. Like, there's no rule to nature, really. Things aren't meant to be a specific way. Things just happen to be done in different ways. And there are animals in nature are homosexual. Plenty of videos you can watch of animals being gay. So this idea that that's just how it always is in nature just isn't true. Yeah, I don't know why she's talking about sexuality. She just doesn't know what she's talking about. She's dumb.
And a woman to do that. Women are...
You don't necessarily need a man and a woman to procreate. What you really need is a sperm and an egg, right? You don't need the whole ass man to make a baby. You just need the sperm and the egg. You just need the reproductive cells. That's really all you need. And you could make an artificial womb, which they have been. I've seen scientists working on that. I know they've done it with a lamb, made a lamb in an artificial womb. So you really don't need men and women. Not anymore.
XX. Those are the sex chromosomes. Women have two X's. Men have an X and a Y.
So, technically correct, but this could be specified. Most women have XX chromosomes. All females have XX chromosomes. Same thing with men. Most men are XY, but all males are XY. Sex and gender does not compute with this lady. She's older than Windows XP. Looks like a dinosaur. She hasn't gotten this information yet.
Those are genetic markers. They're genetic markers for female and male, respectively.
True. Chromosomes are genetic markers. Yeah.
Binary. That's the rule.
No, it's not binary. There are intersex people. Hold up. I'm gonna go get that intersex chart. Be right back. And we're going to enlarge. Okay. So, we got lots of stuff about how this whole article, actually, it's about how sex isn't a binary. It's pretty cool. And we have a huge chart which explains, right? You got your typical biological male, typical biological female. So this is XX, XY, right? And then we get a bunch of stuff in between, right? You got gene mutations, you got androgen insensitivity syndrome, mixed gonadal dysgenesis. You got tons of stuff in between XX and XY, right? If you have any of these, you're intersex and you're neither XX or XY. You're something else. And there's tons of categories that you could possibly be in. So, again, we are having factually incorrect information being presented to us 40 seconds in.
And it's self-evident. Transgender, someone who identifies as transgender, however, that's not a problem in their body. Gender identity, all identities, they're in our thoughts.
Yes. Your sex, that's not a mental thing. Your gender, your gender is in your head. You present however you present, however you identify, that is all in your head. Gender is a social construct. This is correct. We have something correct, but she is very inappropriately understanding the information. She's not understanding it at all.
Thoughts and feelings, those are not hardwired, they develop, and they may be factually wrong or factually correct.
Okay. Feelings typically are opinions. Opinions cannot be factually correct or incorrect. It's not possible. Right? Opinions are not facts. These are different things. So I don't know where she's going with this. Well, I do know where she's going with this. She's saying, oh, if you feel you're a girl, but your body is different, then therefore you're not a girl. Like that's not how that works, homie. That's not how that works. Gender is independent of your body. What's wrong with identities being in your head? Every thought, hobby, idea, etc. are created by our minds. Yeah, there are many social constructs. I don't know what it is with transphobes and being against social constructs. They're very anti-social construct. Anything that is socially constructed, it is a problem for them. They do not want to acknowledge it as that. I feel like it's because they don't understand what it means. I feel like they just hear that and they think, oh, that's not real, but it's a lot more complex than that.
Definition of a delusion is a fixed false belief. So if I persistently, consistently insist that I am Margaret Thatcher, or persistently, consistently insist that I am a cat, or... Okay,
so this is a different thing, right? They always do this. They always mess it up, right? The analogies. I am Margaret Thatcher. I am a cat. Margaret Thatcher is a human being, right? And exists as a separate entity from you, right? So Margaret Thatcher is not a social construct, meaning that you cannot merge into Margaret Thatcher. Gender is a social construct, right? It is an idea. Gender is just an idea. It is nothing more, nothing less. And so, therefore, you can identify with whatever gender you want, whatever gender is in your head. That's how that works. Also, being a cat, that's a species. A species is not a social construct. That's a set, defined thing within reality. Certain species have certain traits that are specific to that species. It's not socially constructed what a different species is, if that makes sense.
I'm an amputee trapped in a normal body. I am delusional. And in fact, there are people who believe they are amputees trapped in a normal body. They are appropriately diagnosed as having body identity integrity disorder. If you want to cut off an arm or a leg...
Yeah, so Margaret Thatcher is dead. I didn't know that. I actually don't know who Margaret Thatcher is. If I'm going to be honest, I don't know who Margaret Thatcher is. Who is Margaret Thatcher? Prime Minister of the UK. That's who that was. I knew that name sounded familiar. Cool. A British person. also, right? Like, where was I going? I lost my train of thought. She was saying something. Hold on, what was she saying?
If an arm or a leg, you're mentally ill. But
oh yeah, people who think that their limbs are messed up, false, or whatever. I'm pretty sure that in some cases, to treat them, you would amputate that limb. I think that is the treatment in some cases. If it's extreme enough to where the person wants to commit suicide unless they have their limb removed, yeah, I think you should remove that limb. If it means keeping that person alive, I think that makes the most sense. There's nothing wrong with having a disorder, right? Gender dysphoria, it is a disorder. It is a problem, but the treatment for that is to transition, right? There are treatments for every disorder, right? Being depressed or bipolar, those are disorders, right? There's nothing wrong with having that. It impacts your life negatively, but there's nothing wrong with you for being a differently abled person mentally, right? There's nothing wrong with that, or physically. There's nothing wrong with being disabled mentally or physically, and this lady is just talking about it like it's an inherent problem, like it's bad, like these people are not worth as much due to being differently abled. And when it comes to disabilities, there are just different treatments for different things, and in the case of gender dysphoria, the treatment is to transition. That is the medically appropriate treatment for transitioning. And this lady is just going against the scientific consensus. And she's against, people getting help. It's kind of wonk. It's kind of whack. It's wonky. Whack, wonk. I don't know. What am I trying to say here? It's bad. It's bad.
Want to cut off healthy breasts and genitals? Oh, then you're transgender and you don't have a mental illness.
Well, yeah. If your tits are making you want to die, if you wake up every day and your tits are making you feel suicidal, yeah, get rid of them. Please feel better. Be a happier person, right? Like that's literally it. If you need a surgery to feel better with your life, right? And it'll greatly improve the quality of your life. Yeah, do it. Even if it's for a physical thing. Right? It's really not that, it's not that hard to be a decent person.
Individuals with disorders of sex development are being used as pawns in the fight for basically a civil right to mental illness. There's no such thing as a civil right to mental illness. A civil right to mental illness. So it's like, to this lady, people are not allowed to be mentally ill? Like, being trans isn't a mental illness, right? That's not... Being trans isn't a mental illness, but even if we granted it, the right to be mentally ill, you don't choose to be mentally ill. And so apparently this lady thinks you could choose to be mentally ill, and if you
do, you should not have that right. I don't. It's really, really strange and dumb.
But that is in fact what we are dealing with the transgender rights movement.
Yeah, so this lady's dumb. Hold on. Does she have... Oh, there's a whole interview. I did not know. Does she have a thing I could look up? Dr. Michelle Cratella. Tradition, family, property. Well, this is conservative as shit. Here's a whole academic response. Yeah, this is a whole academic response to her. That's pretty interesting.